Hi guys, we are here in our SmileCast podcast with a great honor to be today with Pastor David Moore, Pastor Alena Moore, in Brazil, in Sorriso, in our community. IBN Sorriso is, I think we have no words. I am saying that to express how we are grateful, how we are happy and honored to receive you guys. Thank you so much. This is a so special podcast for us, and we think if we could we'll stay here for hours and hours because it's a privilege for us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. I want to begin this conversation. I was thinking about that now a minutes ago, and I was remembering Pastor David, a physical teacher that I had when I was a child, and in class many times he asked things like, "This phone is small or big," for example, and he says he taught us it depends of your referential.
Point of view.
Yes,
Perspective.
because if you made a comparison, if this phone with this table, this phone is small. And then I think for us as a child of God, for us when we remember about Apostle Paul says about the body of Christ, when he said that a member of the body cannot say that do not need another member.
Right.
And I think the referential in the body of Christ is important. And I can say that Gateway for us in Sorriso is a strong reference. Referential.
For sure.
Gateway is being for the past and today and will be. And I know that is not easy. Maybe for someone is listening us today, but I would like to ask to start this conversation. Ask why Gateway is a gateway. The gateway. Why Gateway is referential for us in the west side of Brazil. I was there just to remember, and I can say that Gateway is a referential. Gateway is building a legacy. And can you tell us some things about what God is doing in Gateway through this, I think, 22 years?
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Yeah. Well, firstly, let me just say thank you so much. I mean, you guys just having us here and being able to spend time with you and your team and to be part of the SmileCast. I mean, it's such a privilege. And I know we have a lot to learn from you as well. And so thank you so much for having us and for just inviting us into this conversation. It's hard to sum up. I think there's a lot of reasons that Gateway is, it's really just a privilege to have the influence that we have around the world, and we never take it for granted, and it's something that always has to be held with such respect and with a sober-mindedness, because we know the only reason why Gateway has any influence is because God has breathed on it and has allowed it. And really, at any point in time, when the Lord's done, He's done. And there's nothing that we can do to conjure up within ourselves to create the impact that the Lord has done through our church. And so it's, our church is, it's full of beautiful people. We have amazing leadership. Our worship is about the presence of God. And it's really the same as your church in so many ways. But something I think that a lot of people ask, why is Gateway, a successful church or whatever? And I think there's a lot of reasons, but I think the main reason is that it's always been about Jesus. And I know, our Pastor Robert Morris he's just a total gem, and he loves the Lord. And I know that him and the other leadership of our church, it's always been about what does God want to do? What's God saying right now? And it's never been about who has the best idea or who's cool enough or what trendy thing is happening that we need to get in line with. It's never been about that. It's always been, what's the Holy Spirit saying, and how can we align ourselves with what he's saying to do what he wants us to do? And I think really stemming from that, we have a huge heart for Israel. We love to support and bless Israel and the Jewish people, and that's a huge part of what we do at church. And the presence of God in worship, reaching the next generation. But all of those things really just stem back from that one thing: is what's the Holy Spirit saying? And our focus on that is, I think, what the Lord blesses. What do you think?
You spoke about Israel. I was not expecting, heard that. I know that, and I am in Messianic Studies at TKU. What it means in a spiritual context. This is something amazing in Gateway. Gateway has a Jewish service, Jewish Sabbath, Havdalah, and other things in Jewish community. And we here as a church, we are planning and praying about how we can support Jewish community in Brazil. And even maybe how can we support the Jewish people in Israel. We are among pastors talking about that. Yeah. And can you say quickly why this is important and why this makes a difference in the church, the Gateway life?
Sure. Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. We started we started a campus in Dallas, in the city of Dallas. So our main church is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, not far from the airport. And then we've expanded different campuses in different places around the Metroplex. But we launched a campus in Dallas about 6-7 years ago. And the neighborhood that we were in is right in the heart of a Jewish community in Dallas. There's synagogues that are around, and on Saturdays, we have church on Saturdays and Sundays, and we would go to church on Saturdays on Shabbat, and all of you'd see a lot of people from the Jewish community walking around, just walking around the neighborhoods, pushing strollers. It's amazing to see, and just the honor and the value that it's placed on Sabbath. Really, that it's not just for the Jewish people, but for all of us. That Shabbat is a principle, and not just a principle, but an actual commandment. It's on the same list as, do not murder, is remember the Sabbath and take it holy, and keep it holy. So anyway, we started this church, and I think that some people in the Jewish community, I think the initial thought was, you're coming in to kind of like proselytize or like make us be part of what you're doing, and we have our own culture, we have our own traditions, and we're not going to be part of a Christian church. And the way that really I think we combat that is it's just through love. We're not trying to change somebody. We're just trying to love. We're trying to honor. We're trying to support and show a blessing, because when you bless Israel, the Bible commands us to bless Israel. And so when we bless Israel, then we're blessed. Everybody's blessed, because we're blessing and honoring what the Lord has done and his people. And so through that, I think it's so significant. We do have a Shabbat service, and the point is not to draw in Jewish people and try to show them another way. It's just to say we want to do something that will honor, because really everybody, the Jewish people as well as all people, need to know that Jesus is the Messiah, that he has come, and that salvation is here, and it's for today. And so any way that you can, the Bible says you'll know that we're Christians by our love, not by our convincing one another that the way that we see the world is better. And so I think that if we can show all people, including Jewish people, the love of Jesus just by being loving, just by being kind, just by representing the character and the heart of Jesus, then I think that's really what opens the door for every person in the world to know that Jesus has come and that he's real. Amen. And that his presence is here for us. And it only just accents and accentuates the traditions of Judaism, doesn't it? It's like this, when you see Jesus and you see the Word, being made flesh, And that understanding, it just opens us up a whole world of understanding. And so we love to see, and Jewish people are coming to Jesus all the time through the ministry that we're doing at Gateway, and we give a significant portion of our the income that we take into the church. A significant portion goes to Israel and Jewish ministries around the world. So I think that's...
And you are talking about honoring Israel. I remember when I arrived there, I found some different things for us, like Memorial Day, the week of the Independence Day, what happens in the church.
Yeah.
And there are a point that for me was so shocked and blessed point, God's learning for me, that is about the principle of honor. I have here the Romans 13, when Paul says about you have to give honor to someone who has honor. And I am thinking about the honor in the relationships, in human relationship. Why this is so strong in American? Because I think this is not in American church, but in American culture. Why this is so strong in America, and why this is important in the biblical context and for the church?
I think that it's ingrained in our culture really because we have a Christian heritage in our foundation. And so I think that ultimately our forefathers, that was a value of America. And I think at the same time, there's a battle against it. There's a battle against honoring, because in order to honor, you really have to first have gratitude. Yes. You have to be grateful for where you live. You have to be grateful for what you have. You have to be grateful for the person you're engaging with. And I think that there's a cultural and generational battle against honor. And I think it's just important as Christians to make sure that we're honoring the Lord, and that we take time to honor one another. And that really comes from gratitude, and it comes from the Word. It says in 1 Peter 2:17, honor everyone, because it's easy to honor someone who you can get something from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or honor a leader who might be watching you, or honor somebody who there's a benefit, a fringe benefit, or something a way that can make you feel good. But really honor is the way that you treat everybody. The person that is maybe helping serve in your home, the person who is maybe doing something, changing babies' diapers while we're able to have services. Somebody who's changing, the garbage after service.
Yes.
The person who is the least of these, you serve the same and with all of your heart. And I think that it's an important value that is missing, that as a church, if we can allow that to take root in our heart, to really take time to see the person across the table from you, and to see what it is that they're doing, and to see what it is that what part of the body that they have, to acknowledge it and just to honor it. It allows that person to feel the affirmation that comes from the Lord. And it allows that person to recognize that their part matters. And so it's such an easy thing. The thing that David and I are really passionate about is honoring other people, which there are many different ways you can do that. But it's such an easy thing to look outside of yourself, look at the person, and use your words. Yes. It's free. If you think about it, it's like you can give value away in a way that's free, but make such an impact and such a difference in someone's life.
Something we've thought a lot about is the time that most people receive honor is when they die.
Yes.
And so when you're at a funeral and everybody says how wonderful this person was, and everything you wish that you had, or the things you appreciated about that person, and the person doesn't get to hear it. And so we thought about having, honor parties. Where you would just,
how it works.
To honor.
I know. While they're still
so
alive.
They can hear it.
To tell them all the things that are great about them, all the things that
are
impactful, especially the elderly people. When life, maybe they're not still in the season of significant impact. Whenever they die, we sit and say their whole history of what they've done. But why not, while they're still alive, we at dinner with them seated, tell them what they've done to impact, how their marriage created a new legacy, and how when they made this decision, it changed my life. And how when you make the bread for the communion for the service, how it serves the whole church, taking time to place honor and value in people. I feel like that is the work of Jesus.
Yes. We have in Brazil a music. Her title is Flowers in Life. Flores em Vida, Flowers in Life. Wow. And it's so deep how this music speak with us about honor. And how you said in funerals we have a lot of words of good stuff that she was so good, so passionate, and in life we don't see, we don't tell, we don't show this person that I love you and I respect you, I honor you. When my mom died, I thought about it, and I thought if I honored her, and someday when I go to bed to sleep, I was thinking and praying and talking with Jesus and talking about honor. And Jesus touched my heart, and he said to me, yes, you did it.
Wow.
You can be
Great.
Okay. And that night I had a dream with a Bible, and inside this Bible a white rose.
Wow.
And I knew it, that he was looking to me and to all of this. So honor is a important thing to me.
I remember as well when we are talking about honoring. There is one more thing that was so great for me these times inside the Gateway and living in America, because I remember when we were 8 days in the hospital with my son Anthony. Every day, that 8 days, someone entering our room, where we were, and ask us about, can I help you with something? I'm here as a volunteer. And we even they even gave us gifts that they made, and every single day someone appeared there and says, I'm a volunteer and I want here to help you with anything. I can clean the floor, I can go to the market, I can help you. And this is something that for me is linked with the honor principle, and is strong in the church about volunteering, and people are aware about what is serve Jesus, and I will honor Jesus. I am talking now about we honor Jesus when we serve. I think this is a lesson from American culture. I'm right?
Yes.
I mean, I think if I were to say what the most important thing is in church and being part of the community of church, it's serving. And I think it's something that's so lost, honestly, right now, because I think that people come to church so often. I don't know if it's like this for you guys, but we definitely see this in the United States, is that church is so consumeristic. It's like you come to get, you come to listen to a message, or to have a great worship service or whatever it is, and then you just leave and get on with life. And serving is so, it's like we need people to greet at the door. We need people to help out with this community outreach or whatever. And it's like trying to get people to come and to do things. It's like you have to, I don't know, like pull their hair and make them come.
It's a lot of effort.
Because that heart's not there. And I think that there's probably several reasons why it's this way, but I mean, I feel like when I grew up because I grew up in church, my dad was and still is a pastor, but it was always like everything that needed done, like if you didn't do it, it didn't get done. And so if you didn't, I remember helping out with worship, and I was like just learning to play the drums at the time, and my dad graciously allowed me to play for our church. But it's like, but if I didn't get there to help set up my drums and help set up the sound system and all the things that we do, just because we were just a beginning church and starting to grow, and it was like, if I didn't do it, it didn't get done. So I learned how to do it, and then somewhere along the way, as church grows and expands, you kind of have people that do specific jobs, and take your technical crew. It's like they come and they set everything up, and then you've got a worship team that just shows up and plugs in their instrument and plays, and it's like magic. It just works because somebody else did it. But you kind of lose something along the way that says like, no, I'm actually just participating in this as well as everybody else. And it's like, and not, you won't always be cleaning the bathrooms. Like we have a really good friend who has one of the best voices on the planet. Like her name's Rebecca, and she can sing the paint off the walls. Like she's incredible. Yeah.
She's the best.
It's incredible. She's such a gift. And so she's so humble. Mm-hmm. And
so humble.
We've been talking a lot about her, and just how so much gifting can be wrapped up in someone with such humility. It's so rare. But she was talking about cleaning toilets when she was serving a church in Ireland. That's just like, that's what she did. And it's like she can sing.
She would clean the toilets and sing like Whitney Houston.
She can sing like Whitney Houston, and she's scrubbing toilets.
Yes.
And it's like, and there's a value in that that says that no matter how gifted I am, I'm part of this church.
Yes.
Like I'm not here because I deserve to be here or I'm good enough to be here. It's like we are all the same.
Yeah. Yes.
And we're all serving the Lord with all of our heart, and we're bringing the gifting that we have. And not everybody's going to have the gifting to sing on the stage like Rebecca. Not everybody's going to have a gifting to speak, in front of people, or to facilitate the maintenance around the church, or whatever you do that you're good at. Not everybody can do that. But you've got to just be willing to be in and to serve and to do it wholeheartedly. And no task is too small. And something Pastor Robert has always encouraged our team and our staff to do is if you're walking around the church and you see something like paper on the floor, you pick it up and you throw it away, because we're owners. Like we own this church, and we're part of this church, and I don't want, if there was dirt around my house, I wouldn't just leave it there and say, oh, somebody else is going to pick that up. Yes. It's like I pick it up because
it's mine.
I'm invested. Mm-hmm. And so I think that does something in somebody's heart to say that I'm invested here, and I'm going to give my life and give my heart to serve this place no matter what's asked of me. And I will not be entitled thinking that I'm good enough to do something else, I'm going to do whatever's needed and whatever's necessary. And the Lord will shine light on the gifting when the time comes. But so often you get such gifting and so little character that goes with it. And the way that character is forged is in that furnace of affliction. It's in the furnace of the toilet. And serving and just giving everything to the Lord. And then he burns away all of those things and lets the gifting shine. And when it shines, it shows his presence. And it's just a beautiful thing when it goes that way.
Pastor, I think this example will be so useful for us here so many times. I remember when I was arriving at Texas and Gateway in the first weeks. I think the just information that I had was I am going to the church of Carrie Job.
Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing, but when I heard the first time Rebecca worshiping, Lucas, my friend, is here. He can attest. For me, we are talking about the most powerful voice around the world.
Yeah, she's amazing.
For me, she's amazing. I heard sometimes she singing the official American song.
Yes.
The national
anthem. Yes. It's amazing. And you are now talking her what she is.
Yeah, her character. Yeah.
Not in the service.
Yeah.
This is, I think, the best expression what Jesus is.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
That's exactly right.
Exactly
Right.
I'll be honest. I will left this podcast shocked with this information because she's like
she's incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The gifting is incredible.
Yeah, and for the record, Carrie Job is incredible too.
Yes, Carrie.
Yes.
She has a heart of gold.
Carrie
She
has equal
character.
character just the same way. Carrie will serve and do anything for anybody, and that comes from realizing that there is no, and going back to what we're saying, there's no honor without action.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of what you're saying. There's no honor without action. You have to have action with your words, action, and something we even talked about at Gateway. It's a little thing in the very beginning. We had an atomic clock, so it would count down the exact second, and we start exactly on time, no matter what. So we start to the second at 4:00 for our first service, on Saturday.
And we've done that for 22 years.
We've done that for 22 years.
There's only been a handful of services ever that we've ever not started on time. And most of the time it's been because ministry was happening where we couldn't clear the altars fast enough for the next service. I remember that happened in the old days. And
so it's just important to realize you're honoring people with your time, being on time, and sticking to the time. If I say, for example, if I'm holding a meeting with a team and I say we're going to meet from 4 to 5, we end at 5. So that way I'm respecting, your time to go home and be with your family.
Yes.
And I'm honoring you. I'm placing honor on your family. I'm placing honor on your time. And so being timely, being consistent in serving, being humble in the way that you serve, being willing to do anything. It's really honor with action. Honor even with your words. Taking time to stop and say thank you. Thank you for getting us incredible shirts that had my children's name on it. You're amazing. It was so thoughtful. And the pictures you printed from his Instagram, it was really intentional and was thoughtful. And it shows that you know how to place value on people. And that the gifting of pastoring, you're able to manage this media stuff, but your ability to pastor people is a gift from the Lord. And so you have the ability to operate and function in God's gifting with whatever he has in your hands.
You make me cry.
Oh, I know. So I can use my words to honor you because I see the gifting in you, and I can just call it out and put action to my honor. Yeah. And so I think it's an easy culture. And it catches fire because when you realize that my words, my timeliness, my investment can place honor, and it's going to attract people. I like to honor people with food, good food at my table. And so when the worship team knows that I have anything to do with it, which is not always, but if I have something to do with it, I'm going to make sure that the food is good and that everybody has a seat at the table. Because I want people to know when I'm around, they belong. And so there are ways that you can have action that has action associated with your honor.
Yes. Great.
Yeah.
We can end right now.
Victoria can attest that we are learning great things and through you, through Gateway. We are learning here as an example to get meetings with time to begin and time to end.
Yes.
Yes.
Not our culture.
Yeah.
We have time to begin, but we have
never to finish a meeting.
Yes. And we invite people saying the meeting will start this time and will end this time. Yeah. And because we are learning this principle. This is so amazing. When we were talking here about Carrie and Rebecca, I'm thinking that God wants to bless, but there is a path. There is a way that we have to receive what He already did. He already prepared.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is a way. And this is so strong.
Yes.
You can't
shortcut the process.
You can't shortcut the process.
Because shortcutting it only just it means destruction for the person. And I think as leaders we have to be able to identify that, and we have to when you see incredible gifting in someone, you can't just here you go, like here's all the things that you can do, because it's not good for their heart, and it's not that you're trying to hold somebody back. And because I think sometimes somebody can be like, they never let me be me. Like I'm good enough to be doing all these things. I don't get to do it. And it's like, no, like it's out of love. It's out of honor. It's out of kindness that we can protect and to preserve the heart of God. That, like, it's something that Alena and I always do, or we used to do. We used to oversee so I think you were trying to end this, and I kind of just kept going.
No, please.
Sorry.
But,
Just
Sorry,
speak.
Lucas.
No. But we looked after all of our next generation worship for years at the church. So all of our students and kids and young adults worship and all of that, and helping develop the teams and things like that. And the thing we would always say is we have a worship ministry, but really what we're doing is discipling people. And so it was like discipling people under the cover of worship ministry, if that makes sense. And so it's everybody, there was a common, ground with creativity and worship and music and, dance and art and different things that we would do as part of the team. But it was always about, like, how can I help you know Jesus? And how can I help you see how valuable a relationship with him is in your life? And so many people are continuing to serve the Lord today. I mean, we had hundreds of people go through the ministry over the years, but so many people are serving in leadership at our church or churches around our country or different places, people spread out and doing really significant things. And they were just kids growing up who were gifted in some area, but really just began to know Jesus and began to know how to spend time with him and to go through hard things with Jesus at the center of it, And so I think that if we do that and we encourage our teams and the people that we're raising up to be that, and to not just say, hey, you're awesome, here's everything you want, and there's a pathway, and you do get to experience the things you want to do, but you do it with the character that can keep you there. And I think it's so valuable, and that's really honoring the person and honoring your house as well.
Yes, great. Victoria, I am so
I am glad.
grateful. I don't know if you want to extend some question.
No,
Maybe,
I'm done.
Thank you, guys.
Pastor, it's great things, precious things that you share with us today.
Thank you.
We really will watch this podcast, I think, one more time.
One, maybe two or three or four.
And I hope that the church members and our community open the heart to what God is speaking to us through you, this podcast, because it's so amazing. I will say again, thank you so much. I asked them when they arrived here, I am dreaming or this real? Because it's a great honor for us to receive
Thank
it.
you. It's such an honor to be here.
It's
We're
our
pinching
honor.
ourselves
Yeah.
to the fact that we're here.
Yeah.
I mean, we just
We're
would have
grateful.
never imagined that our lives would lead us to this place, but it's so incredible to be here and to get to know you and to spend time with your church and just to be able to worship together. I mean, the honor is ours.
It's ours.
So.
And we want to thank our bridge, Lucas and Andressa, for being the ones who pioneer
God
the
bless
way.
you.
They're the real deal,
real
and the
deal.
reason, honestly, the reason why we have the opportunity to serve anywhere is really because of them. They're incredible.
Yeah.
The Lucas is a bridge. Thank you, guys. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
pastors. Bye.
Bye.